You are what you watch. Hello, my name is Tanbuatco and welcome to our program. In this episode, we have, of course, Mr. Gil Santos, who's always with us on Fridays, but we have a special guest. Now, before I introduce our special guest, I'd like to introduce basically the topic we will talk about. Today's macroeconomic view, so yung mas malaking paningin po sa buong mundo pagdating sa issue ng ekonomiya. Economics play a big role in our life today. We have just experienced the financial crisis, which has been worldwide. Now, let's not think too global. After all, yes, it's correct. As Gil did point out, Mr. Santos did point out about a year and a half ago when he had his regular show here, right here in GNN, to think global is correct, it's the right direction, but to act local. Our subject today, our topic, will go around what we call the disintegration, so yung pagwawala, pagbabagsak, or what we call the broken or breaking apart of the pieces of the economy in the financial sectors. Now, our guest is Mr. Butch Valdes, who likewise was a GNN host, who goes back during my time when I was in RJTV. And he represents one of the thinking theories that puts forward a solution, not just an analysis, not just a point of view, but promotes a solution which many people are actually, or economists are actually wary of. Now, whether this is wayward or outward thinking, or maybe some people might even find him a bit flighty, being the case, I'd like to introduce the famous, if not infamous, Mr. Butch Valdes. Maraming salamat po. Okay ba yung introduction ko?
Okay.
Okay, infamous, famous. No, because the LaRouche Society, as active as you are,
it has been controversial.
It's been very controversial, and it roots back in the last 40 to 50 years, using actual phenomena that have taken place, and your ground footing, so to speak, has been based on your analysis to what we call actual experiences dating back to the 30s, the breaking down of society, or what we call FDR's, Roosevelt's economic depression, and how people reacted. Now, this is very much in play after the financial crisis last year. It's been put forward, the solution, although some great economists in the world think otherwise. Now, Mr. Santos and I, we've been talking the last few weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, Gil, about the economic situation in the Philippines on the other side of the topic, thinking global and acting local. The issues of acting local. After all, these are all prevalent and current because we have a presidential election coming up. And exactly what these people are doing or promoting their platforms, be it for agriculture, energy, security, and whatever, education, health.
Sustained economy.
A sustained economy. Where exactly do they stand on the agri-base, industrialization, import substitution? Ang dami pong kailangan pag-usapan. But basically, if I may, that was the platform we're going to discuss in this program. Okay, this disintegration, Mr. Valdes.
Before I go into that, I just wanted to make certain corrections. And I was, if you remember, I was in your program a couple of years back, or even 3 years back, already warning directly about the coming global financial collapse, right?
Yes, I stand. Yes, you did.
And exactly as we had expected, and Mr. LaRouche had actually predicted that in 2007 it was going to hit, and it hit. In 2007, Wall Street crashed, and led by all of these hedge funds, no? And led by Bear Stearns, if you remember that. No? And it started careening. Okay. Now, the U.S. and many economists says, no, it is just a correction. And we were saying, no, this is it. This is the start of the financial collapse. No? And then we also said, in many interviews on television, I had said that the next phase of this is going to be major banks that will fail before the end of 2008. And the last quarter of 2008, you had Lehman Brothers, AIG, everybody. All of these banks started to collapse, right? And then in January, I went again on television and had said that this year is the mother of all collapses. This is the third phase of the collapse, wherein all of these so-called stimulus packages, the printing up to save Wall Street, which is now totals, and you will see it probably by the end of September or first week of October, the U.S. will have to book something like $25 trillion that it had incurred as debt, to save the financial sector and to save Wall Street.
It's almost like good money after bad money.
It is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And $25 trillion, 1 trillion is 1,000 billion.
Right, right.
So this is going to enter and have to be booked. You can just imagine what all the other countries are keeping dollar reserves. And the biggest is, of course, China.
With 3 trillion.
About $3 trillion. As they book this, the value of the U.S. dollar will go vertically down. Okay? Now, it is not right for us to expect that ours is going to be vertically going up, because it does not work that way. When the principal currency of the world starts to go down, all other currencies, they follow the printing, to try to maintain an exchange rate so that you can continue to trade. Okay? Even if you do that, what happens is a level of hyperinflation is going to hit not just the United States, but the whole world, wherein prices of commodities are going to be exponentially going up.
Yes.
Exponentially.
Yes.
Exponential. It is not going to creep up. It will be jumping up. Okay. Now,
hyperinflation.
Hyperinflation. Okay. This is what we're afraid of. This is what we call the financial disintegration of the system. The system of floating exchange rate is gone. As of now, it's gone. It's just a matter of recognizing and booking it. But even if they don't book it, they will still have to print out the same amount to recognize that debt. You see?
And
we are already in that situation.
And what's worse is the developing and
You
underdeveloped
agree with Mr. Valdes?
I do, because the result is the developing and underdeveloping countries are going to suffer more.
Right.
Simply because the costs of production, the cost of progress, the cost of sustained economic development is going to be more. You cannot have sustained development without energy. Now, the first victim of what he's talking about is energy.
Right.
And you can't develop without energy. Therefore, that's the logical conclusion.
Certainly, all of a sudden it is going to be prices of oil are going to be going up, jumping into levels it's unimaginable.
So we haven't seen the worst of it.
We have not even seen anything yet in terms of how this thing is going to go. Now, I know that I sound like a doomsayer, but what I am saying is what we have been saying.
Sound like a doomsayer.
But what I've been saying, Harry, over the years, and what our organization has been presenting to different leadership all over the country has actually happened. Now, what we're saying is this is it. There are certain things that we have to do in order to stop this. Now, there is, if you want to stop the economic and financial collapse, it will never be too late, but it will take a major step by the United States to get the Russia, China, India, and U.S. together to change the financial system from a floating exchange rate system to a system of fixed exchange rate. Right. Now, we are not at this point of any interest.